my royal subjects. Angela Pace here at my beloved Lincoln Theater. Now, don't worry, I am not here to report on COVID. That's right, no variants, no Delta, Mu, Sigma, Pi. No, it's just you and I, your queen through COVID and beyond, doing what I love to do most, and that's hosting my beloved Community Arts Partnership Awards for the Greater Columbus Arts Council. Now, of course, the event looks a little different this year. There's no podium, no curtains, and just an empty stage. Of course, I insisted on keeping my royal subjects safe, but that's fine, because the city is our stage. And this event is all about community, its people, and the stories that move our hearts and continue to shine brightly in Columbus. Pandemic be damned.
Today we are here to celebrate our 2021 Community Arts Partnership Awards.
Wait, Tom Katzen, Tom, is that you?
Did I start too early? It's hard to hear you all the way over here at the brand new Loanne Crane Gallery at the GCAC headquarters.
Tom, you crack me up. Well, of course, your queen will allow you to continue.
Thanks, Angela. You know this event was started in 1984. That means it's almost 40 years old. I remember when I was 40 years old. The Greater Columbus Arts Council started the Community Arts Partnership Awards because we know strong partnerships between businesses, community members, and the arts stimulate economic growth, promote the city's revitalization, encourage tourism, and enhance our city's cultural image. This ripple effect is just one of the reasons it's so important to support the arts and to use opportunities like the awards we present today to recognize those who understand and value creativity in our community. Now back to you, Angela.
All righty, thank you, Sir Tom Terrific. So today we celebrate the achievements of the many individuals, businesses, arts organizations, and neighborhoods that help us to accomplish our work and form the cultural fabric of our city. Today we celebrate those who are essential to maintaining and building the vibrant and creative energy of Columbus. From King Lincoln Bronzeville to the Discovery District in downtown, from Franklinton to the short north, south side to the hilltop, our city is bound together by the neighborhoods and the neighbors that make us great. Let's take a look at our 2021 award winners. Arts Educator, Dion Custer Edwards, nominated by Fawn Harris, Walnut Ridge High School, Columbus City Schools. Dion Custer Edwards has been committed to the arts and arts education in Columbus for decades. Her many roles over the years include Wexner Center Director of Learning and Public Practice, creator of pioneering K-12 programs, writer, poet, musician, and renowned national speaker.
My process, my pathway to becoming an arts educator started with community. I would like to thank the Greater Columbus Arts Council for recognizing this work. I do not do this work alone. This work is with our community. This work is with colleagues, both inside of the Wexner Center for the Arts, beyond the Wexner Center for the Arts.
During her career, Dion has inspired thousands of students, educators, and artists.
I'm so proud of Dion Custer Edwards and the work that she did through the Pages program. She also worked with my students in a program called Worldview. In the two of those programs, students are invited into the Wexner Center and they meet with artists and they really grapple with profound, complex ideas.
In her compelling and joyous manner, she sparks excitement about the arts and people of all ages. A true visionary, she creates enthusiasm for writing and self-expression, all while exposing students to the contemporary arts and museums.
She is so aware of the opportunity that these students need. So when these artists come in, what I found was that my students, like I said before, they gain confidence, they gain new perspectives, they're more willing to grapple with difficult subjects. They are more willing to listen to one another. They are more willing to have empathy for one another. I think that we all know that in the world today, empathy and listening to one another is such an important quality for students to develop.
She does this not by lecturing, but through inquiry and thinking with students, artists, educators, and herself. Her work encourages students to explore new ideas about themselves and the world around them, inspiring learners to raise their hands or put pencil to paper or create an artwork in response to something in their lives. Columbus is incredibly fortunate to have Dion Custer Edwards in our community. A unique and generous spirit, she is a true leader, collaborator, and outstanding arts educator.
There are times where things happen in learning settings, things happen in the galleries, things happen in classrooms, where I then hold on to that and think about it more because somehow it has changed me. And I think that's what's important about this work, about artwork, right? It's reciprocal and it's an exchange. It should be anyway. And as much as you're putting it out, you also get in return, and I'm grateful for that.
Emerging Arts Leader Johnny Riddle, nominated by Trent Smith, Franklinton Board of Trade. In February of 2021, Johnny Riddle became the first ever executive director for Franklinton Arts District, also known as FAD.
From studios to makerspaces to cutting-edge galleries to businesses who are looking to become really engaged with the artists, the Franklinton Arts District really has it all.
Both Fad and Johnny had been a part of the arts in Columbus for a while, but when they got together, boy, that's when things really took off.
Johnny's presence within Franklinton has brought a whole new energy. So, I mean, having him around has meant new opportunities for everybody. With new energy, I think, comes a lot of excitement and eagerness. He is able to look at the big picture of Franklinton Arts District as a whole, which is a unifying element that we're really excited about. But even big picture, Johnny is still able to look at each individual group, organization, business, and even the individual artists that we serve and say, what can I do to support you? What can I do to help and uplift you?
Even in the midst of a pandemic, Johnny took the reins with his signature energy and positive attitude to raise the profile of the Franklinton Arts District. He helped launch the citywide Artsway Mural Mentorship Program to create more educational opportunities for young artists while beautifying the blank walls in Franklinton and around Columbus. Other initiatives Johnny has helped spearhead and expand since joining FAD include Franklinton Fridays, Alloy Art Spaces, Art for Franklinton, Scrawl 15, and all this while creating new partnerships with area businesses and social service organizations. These efforts have helped uplift the entire Franklinton neighborhood and the artists within it. Johnny's drive, enthusiasm, and passion for art is only eclipsed by his desire to make it accessible to everyone. Whether you are 9 or 90, Johnny knows the arts have something for you.
The arts are at the core of the Franklinton Arts District, and as we continue to grow, it's my goal to make sure that they always are.
Johnny is eager and ready, and I think for us in Franklinton, again, having a lot of individual pockets and a lot of creativity, having someone to lead the charge to say, here's what we can do together, here's what I can do for you, is just invaluable for us.
Michael B. Coleman Arts Partner Award, Marilyn Brown, nominated by the Greater Columbus Arts Council Board.
Marilyn has been one of the fiercest, most passionate advocates for the arts during her public career. What I really love about Marilyn and her importance at the museum is that she not only loves the arts, she loves what the arts can do for people.
As Franklin County Commissioner from 2006 through July 2021, Marilyn Brown has been a phenomenal advocate for Central Ohio arts and cultural organizations and arts education efforts. Marilyn doesn't just love the arts, she loves the arts, and she understands what the arts can do for people. She understands that at their heart, the arts are about people, connecting people and ideas, and creating community. She helped to bring art into the courthouse through loans from the Columbus Museum of Art and was champion for the annual student art exhibit in the courthouse lobby.
So we started this Arts and Scholars program, and we had GCAC involvement with that. And we saw the most amazing art that came into the courthouse because of what we did. And I was so excited to meet the young artists, the young videographers, the young writers, the young drama kids, the young musicians come in and show us what they did. And we celebrated that just as much as we did the athletes.
Her commitment to this community and her work impacted all sectors, and her passion to advance racial equity and social justice served the entire community.
One very important thing that I learned from Marilyn Brown was how to become a more supportive leader. And what that means is becoming a leader focused upon the development of future leaders and nurturing their development.
She understood that art can be used by the county to promote economic development and provide solutions to many of the challenges facing our community. Most importantly, she showed us what can happen when we are able to imagine the world not just as it is, but as it should be.
You know, we've always known that art museums have great stuff. We do have great stuff. But what's really at the heart of museums and at the heart of the Columbus Museum of Art are people and relationships, and our relationship and service to our community. And I believe that because that's something I learned from Marilyn.
One of my favorite quotes from Marilyn Brown is that hard work is hard. And anything that is meaningful takes hard work. It takes dedication and it takes sacrifice. As public servants, we have to be focused on the work that is hard and take a failure is not an option attitude when we look at our obligation to create an environment where every resident of Franklin County has the ability to not just survive, but thrive.
During her career, Marilyn has been the model of what a public servant should be, and Franklin County is so fortunate to have such an outstanding leader. And on a personal note, congratulations to my favorite teeny-weeny commish. Employer Award, Land Grant Brewing Company, nominated by Johnny Riddle, Franklinton Arts District. As a first-year partner with the Franklinton Arts District, Land Grant Brewing Company established itself as an engaged partner and a resource to Columbus artists and arts organizations.
Supporting Columbus artists is really important to our mission at Land Grant. So much of what we do is to create incredible experiences and to facilitate connections and community through our beer. And inviting artists through our doors is a huge part of that, whether it's visual artists painting a mural, musicians performing in our beer garden, or filmmakers, or any number of artists that we have through the doors. It creates a place and a community that is something we want to foster.
As an artist, it was real special to work with Land Grant because it's not always that easy to coexist and work with any sort of business. Not only that, it's cool that I got my art start in Columbus and Franklinton.
They made a commitment to going above and beyond to make sure that artists and performers are fairly compensated and provided with needed space and resources. The brewery's beer garden stage, the first dedicated outdoor live music space in the Franklinton Art District, is home to a beer garden music series and the Franklinton Friday music series. In addition, Land Grant has provided a unique canvas for visual artists. Beer cans. Yes, I love it. Beer cans. For each Franklinton Fridays music series, a Columbus-based visual artist created a design inspired by the headlining musical act. Each design was adapted for a beer label, whose proceeds benefit the Franklinton Arts District. Land Grant also displayed the artist's work in the tap room and across their digital channels. Land Grant has also been an active supporter for Scrawl and Art for Franklinton and has collaborated with organizations like 934 Gallery, Franklinton Pride, Natalie's Music Hall and Kitchen, Roy G. Biv, We Amplify Voices, and countless others to help elevate the vision of a creative and thriving Franklinton.
Supporting local Columbus artists is central to really our entire mission at Land Grant, and that is to provide incredible experiences and to build community through our craft beer and our physical location down in Franklinton.
Dale E. Heydlauff Community Arts Innovation Award, Patterns Summer Arts Camp, the Lincoln Theater.
The King Lincoln Bronzeville area has a rich history, and just speaking from my own personal self, I grew up in that neighborhood. And to see and to have that experience of being a child of the community, the village, and having everyone understand the preciousness of childhood. And so the community nurtured that, and they were partners to the parents.
In the summer of 2021, after more than a year of community disconnect and distance learning, the Lincoln Theater introduced Patterns Summer Arts Camp to provide high-quality, in-person arts education opportunity to meet a critical need for the community.
Our trained facilitators who have come through the Lincoln Theater programs as artists, they have developed their craft, and now they know the business of the artistry. So what better person is to have in front of those young people as professionals who live in the community as well, and see them out and about, not just inside a camp, but to be able to be in a space that's free and open to exploration, discovery, place that is safe, and of course all those things are attractive to the parents.
The Lincoln's Patterns Camps ran for 8 one-week sessions, provided classes and workshops that introduced more than 300 students to a variety of art forms, including dance, music, theater, and visual arts, all the while maintaining the utmost care for the safety of students and staff. Classes were taught by artists, arts educators, and facilitators who split the campers into smaller groups to allow for more individualized attention and explorations of multiple art forms simultaneously. While campers learned about African dance, traditions, and drumming patterns, they also made African masks and costumes. Each week culminated with a live show where the campers created and rehearsed scenes and conducted mini performances on the Lincoln's historic stage for family members and fellow students. Not only did the children gain hands-on knowledge of the arts, but Patterns also helped them build their imagination and curiosity and critical social and emotional skills at a time when children needed self-confidence, empathy, and kindness more than ever. Dale E. Heydlauff Community Arts Innovation Award, Art and Empathy, Dante Woods Spikes. After Dante Woods Spikes launched his Empathize With Me initiative, the Columbus Museum of Art commissioned the storyteller and filmmaker to develop a series of community conversations around their exhibition Raggin' On, the art of Amina Robinson's house and journals. Each month, Dante invited guests to join him in a conversation related to a theme present in the exhibition.
Amina Robinson has art about social justice. She has art about gentrification. She has art about being a woman, especially during a time where it was very difficult for women. And I said, these are all of our conversations right here. So we took bits and pieces of Amina's exhibition and we brought community artists in to have them talk about their art and dive into their stories. Because with Amina Robinson's art, you can't just look at that. You have to live that art. And me as a Black man, I recognize that I'm connected to the stories that she told. Literally, the neighborhoods that she talked about, I walked through.
The conversations were kept small, not only to create a safe environment during the pandemic, but also to foster intimate and inclusive conversations with the audience. Themes ranged from art through opposition, where do young Black artists fit in, married to art, the untold story of Walt Neal, and portraits of motherhood, which featured Adrienne Hood, whose son Henry Green was killed by Columbus police in 2016. Monthly conversations were free and ran from May through September in 2021.
I genuinely believe that through the arts, we can heal, we can connect, and we can have conversations that could supersede forcing forms of diversity or forcing people to come together. There has to be some type of commonality that exists. If it doesn't, people are going to automatically separate themselves without trying. But through art, we all have interpretation and we all have appreciation. And I believe that's where conversations begin.
The Greater Columbus Arts Council presents the finalists for the Columbus Makes Art Excellence Awards. Organizations with budgets under $1 million. Cartoon Crossroads Columbus 2020 Festival. Columbus Gay Men's Chorus 2020-2021 season. Opera Project Columbus I Too Sing America. Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, also known as CXC, is an annual festival that showcases the best of cartoon art in all forms, including comics, animation, editorial cartoons, newspaper strips, and beyond. Since its start in 2015, CXC has developed into an international showcase for Columbus and has brought recognition to the city as a growing center of creativity for comics and cartooning. In late 2019, CXC was in a period of mourning and transition following the death of its founding executive director, Tom Spurgeon. After much deliberation, CXC's board and venue partners decided to continue the show in 2020. Then, 2 months later, the COVID pandemic forced the event to find ways to achieve its mission that didn't involve an in-person show. Almost everything about CXC had to change. Interim director Jersey Drodds worked alongside the board and venue partners to completely remake the show. The result was an online festival that both expanded the reach of the festival and honored the mission of creating an atmosphere of shared enthusiasm between creators and audiences. The 2020 CXC demonstrated that an online festival can be more than just faces on a screen. One challenge of taking CXC completely virtual was finding ways for audience members to connect and interact with their favorite creators. To enable virtual networking, CXC set up a Discord server that, by the end of the festival, had turned into a thriving online community, enabling people to connect during this difficult time. The digital format also allowed fans a better glimpse into the lives of creators, including an incredibly rare visit with the reclusive Bill Watterson of Calvin and Hobbes. The online version of CXC had high production values and used the opportunities of the new format to connect more people with artists. By the end of the 4-day show, audiences had the opportunity to be part of sessions with some of the best cartoonists in the world. Time and again, CXC's organizers used creative thinking to get the most out of the online format, with one comics publisher saying that CXC had made the move to an online format more effectively than any show he had seen. Many events were shut down in the past 18 months, but Columbus Gay Men's Chorus's mission of Voices Raised, Lives Changed thrived and grew throughout their commitment to art and audience. Columbus Gay Men's Chorus was the only gay and lesbian association chorus in North America out of more than 190 choruses, and one of only a few performing arts organizations in Columbus to present a full season in 2020 and 2021. The season included 5 major in-person concerts and dozens of free outreach performances from October 2020 through June 2021. In order to do this, CGMC had to completely rethink their performances and implement a new business model to ensure audience and performer safety and financial viability, while still presenting in-person performances that were uplifting and addressed critical social justice issues. Performances focused on inclusion of LGBTQI+ and Black, Indigenous, and persons of color composers, arrangers, and musicians, and audiences danced in the aisles, experiencing the joy and fellowship of live performances. Safety for audiences and performers was paramount, but the move came with a significant increase in costs for the season, including rent for Huntington Park, an outdoor venue capable of accommodating social distancing, and individual microphones for more than 80 performers, so all could be masked and distanced while not sacrificing the vocal quality of performances. The new approach to programming included even more music with a mission moments to address important and timely issues, including Black Lives Matter, violence against Asian Americans, and mental health issues and isolation the pandemic brought to everyone. The season also included free virtual experiences with one full concert, more than 60 outreach performances, and a radio broadcast audience estimated at more than 500,000 people. The chorus not only focused on performing music written and arranged by its community, but also provided diverse and expert trainers via Zoom for their performers in vowel placement, importance and beauty of transgender voices, overcoming stage fright, and instruction for foreign language songs in their holiday concert. Columbus Gay Men's Chorus broke records for audience attendance at 2 of their concerts. But most importantly, the chorus was there for the community when it needed a way to safely experience the joy and inspiration that music and live performance bring to the spirit. Many events were shut down in the past 18 months, but Columbus Gay Men's Chorus's mission of Voices Raised, Lives Changed thrived and grew through their commitment to art and audience. In February 2021, the COVID pandemic had stretched on for nearly a year, and Opera Project Columbus felt they needed to do something to fill the emptiness everyone felt after 12 months without art. Performances, including opera, were among the first to be canceled when the pandemic hit, and Opera Project Columbus wanted not only to bring opera back to opera lovers, but give it a special focus by featuring Black opera singers, storytellers, poets, and composers to honor the often unknown and under-recognized contributions of Black artists to the art form. They found a partnership with Columbus television station WBNS-TV Channel 10 and created I Too Sing America, a showcase of opera arias written by Black composers and performed by the finest Black opera singers in Central Ohio. Based on the Langston Hughes poem of the same name, these beautiful arias, written during the golden age of Black opera in the 1920s, have been largely forgotten, and I Too Sing America sought to resurrect these beautiful works with a very short turnaround and fairly large budget for a small organization. Opera Project Columbus successfully faced all these challenges in keeping people safe and healthy during the rehearsals and performance. The project helped Opera Project Columbus's Diversity Project work towards its goals of expanding their African American audiences and presenting more Black singers, musicians, and composers. The recorded version of I Too Sing America was sent to high schools and universities across the country as a free and timeless educational resource to help young people be moved by the music and empowered by the history. In celebrating the works of both contemporary and historical Black artists, I Too Sing America helped reignite the passion for these classic works, allowing their messages to live on and help educate and enlighten future audiences. Organizations with budgets $1 million and over. Columbus Museum of Art, Art After Stonewall. COSI and WOSU, QED with Dr. B. King Arts Complex, Hey, It's Faye. To commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, the Columbus Museum of Art organized Art After Stonewall, 1969 through 1989. The first major historical exhibition to examine the impact of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender civil rights movements on the art world in the United States. Including more than 240 works by 165 artists and artist collectives, the exhibition was divided into 7 thematic sections. With its accompanying catalog, the exhibition stands as a visual history of 20 years in American queer life and celebrates the passion, inventiveness, and fierce solidarity of artists and activists in the period. Art After Stonewall premiered in New York City in April 2019 at the Gray Art Gallery and Leslie Lohman Museum of Gay and Lesbian Art, then traveled to the Patricia and Philip Frost Art Museum in Miami before coming home to Columbus in March 2020. Despite having to shutter the exhibition just 11 days after its opening due to COVID, Every lender extended their loans, and the museum was able to present a full run of the exhibition from late June to October 2020. Art After Stonewall was a major lift for the institution, with so many objects, artists, lenders, a major publication, and a national tour that began at 2 different venues simultaneously. The project became one of the most ambitious CMA has ever staged. 7 years in development, Art After Stonewall took on the responsibility to tell the story of the intersection of art and queer culture. The exhibition could have faltered in many ways, but drew national attention and positive reviews because it wasn't just an exhibition of paintings, but rather proposed a new relationship between art and other forms of community and culture, using film and video art, photography, painting, sculpture, and music, as well as documents and images taken from media coverage. The exhibition was innovative in terms of museum practice and served as an impetus for CMA to launch Loud and Proud, the first LGBTQ and allied museum membership group in the country. Art After Stonewall was unparalleled in its scope and depth, and was recognized as a groundbreaking view into an important era of LGBTQ+ history. In 2020, nearly 60% of museums were forced to cut education and programming due to COVID, and COSI was no exception. But instead of going dormant, COSI stretched into a new and unknown territory to reach audiences through QED with Dr. B, a groundbreaking partnership with WOSU. This original weekly primetime science show, featuring COSI President and CEO Dr. Frederick Bertley, or the Dr. B from the show's title, explores relevant science topics and questions with real scientists from around the globe. With a small but tenacious team and not a huge budget, COSI and WOSU committed to creating 13 episodes of this original TV show. The first of its kind, the show captures what makes COSI important to the community, everyday science and its relationship to our lives. Through in-depth conversations and artistic visual storytelling, QED with Dr. B presents current research, personal anecdotes, and new perspectives directly from guest scientists. This science storytelling formula brings active science experts directly to the public. Intentionally highlighting the diversity of people, personalities, and roles across the spectrum of science, QED with Dr. B connects science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths, what are known as STEM concepts, to a range of everyday topics and themes, such as food, sports, business, and pop culture. After all, as the show says, science is everywhere, and science is for everyone. The goal of QED with Dr. B was to connect the public to scientists and find that accessible common ground. Through informal and enjoyable conversations, in a way that both communicates science knowledge and creates a memorable artistic experience for anyone with an antenna or internet access. The high production value, knowledgeable scientists, engaging conversations, and personal experiences all came together to create a powerful example of visual storytelling with an important purpose. Hey It's Faye is a project from the Young Filmmakers program at the King Arts Complex. Now in its 4th year, the after-school workshop invokes and empowers the creative curiosity of teens. The King Arts Complex sought to provide a safe, healthy, and enriching space for Columbus's most vulnerable. While looking at statistics from the United Way of Central Ohio and the Ohio Department of Education, it found there were significant educational disparities in kids from their immediate neighborhood, and that arts enrichment activities could play a critical role in ensuring these young people's success in life. Each year, the films are written in the young people's own voice, from their lived experiences, and speak to challenges facing teens and how they navigate those challenges. The workshop's 3rd film, Hey It's Faye, was written and directed and edited by 2 sisters, 14-year-old Lala Davis and 12-year-old Naomi Davis, who also managed the filming budget. The film was scored and audio engineered by 15-year-old Mikkel Lewis. The film presents a teenager's response to COVID and stars teen actors Kia Spence and Tariq Woods. This year's workshops were virtual, but filming happened in person. Recognizing that filmmaking is both art and science and hands-on instruction is key. Students toured site locations in person and selected 2 options for the taping. It was always possible, however, that the virtual learning wouldn't translate to a top-notch film. The students worked as a team, analyzed options, managed the risks, stayed within budget, and produced an award-worthy film. The students were intrigued by the opportunity for self-expression, self-validation, and exploration, and the Young Filmmakers Workshop allowed them to develop a sense of ownership and responsibility, as well as build their confidence by encouraging them to push boundaries and use their imaginations. Hey It's Faye demonstrates the success that can be achieved when organizations like the King Arts Complex believe and invest in young people. And the recipient of the Columbus Makes Art Excellence Award for organizations with budgets under $1 million is... Opera Project Columbus for I2 Sing America. And the recipient of the Columbus Makes Art Excellence Award for organizations with budgets $1 million and over is... Columbus Museum of Art for Art After Stonewall.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today and for celebrating art in all its forms here in Columbus. Many thanks, of course, to our sponsors, Bath & Body Works, The Ohio State University, PNC, Grange Insurance, and Cardinal Health. Thanks to Mills James and Flick Image for your outstanding production skills, and to all the nominees and nominators that make our community amazing every single day. And so now, my loyal royal subjects, go forth, do art, love art, support art. Your queen commands it. And remember, Columbus makes art, and art makes Columbus.